Hey, hey, and welcome to another episode of, or our first episode, I don't know, of Unraveling with Jamie and July. July, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we are exploring body autonomy, comfort and societal expectations around feminine garment standards throughout herstory. In short, we are going on a bra journey. And the choice to wear or not to wear one.
Nice.
Yeah.
The journey of bras.
The journey of bras. And it's a journey.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
From the day you get your first one.
Right.
Yeah, if you are so unfortunate. But then again, that's just my opinion on the matter. Yeah. So, yeah, this is definitely an opinion piece.
For sure. And I think that's all that you get to have about bras is opinions.
Yeah, and we are going to explore the herstory of the bra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we do say herstory just as a little side note there because I believe that, yeah, there is this whole subsection of what we call history that is specifically aimed towards women. It is part of our stories, and therefore it just makes sense. It's a herstory instead of a history. So yeah, let's dive into this, right?
Let's do
it. First of all, we'll just be pretty bold here. Are you wearing a bra today?
I actually am. I was going to ask you the same thing, actually, if you didn't ask. I am, yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
It's a random thing these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no.
I forget. I think, never mind. I don't have to go into details why I put on a bra today, but...
Well, you remember the other day, I had such a bra ordeal, right?
It sounded awful.
It was awful.
It sounded like wearing a hair elastic around your wrist, which I'm also doing right now, but it that's what your situation sounded like the other day.
Yeah.
Just uncomfortable, itchy.
Yeah, basically, I thought it was sort of going to be a comfortable bra.
Right.
And it ended up, well, let's just say it did not contain the boobs. And it ended up just being a strap of itchiness, and the boobs were they were free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it was very pointless.
It was pointless and extremely uncomfortable, and I was adjusting it throughout the day, and I was just like, this is stupid. And so the last 2 days I've been like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope, not doing it. So yeah. Okay, so what do you think bras or corsets symbolize when you think of them historically?
Oh man, what do I think they symbolize?
Yeah.
Not being able to breathe properly.
Well, it's interesting.
Like the corsets.
Yeah, no, it's interesting when you say that, because we'll get into
to me it just seems like, I feel like it was if we're talking going further back to the corsets and all of that, it's just a different version of unrealistic body standards is what comes to mind. You have to look a certain way or put yourself on display, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was actually created, in my opinion, I don't think it was actually created to be supportive. For lack of a better word to use.
Yeah. Well, let's look into the herstory behind it here. So in the 16th century, that's when corsets first emerge in European fashion, and they're popularized, I can speak today, by Catherine I might say this wrong, Catherine de Medici of France. Made from stiffened fabric, and as most of us know, they were often reinforced with whale bones. So that right there is a problem. Whaling, right? Do I need to say more about that?
So.
But we know that that's not a good thing. And the early corsets flattened and elongated the torso, And this was like, it was a symbol of status and discipline.
Yes, clearly
Doesn't
discipline.
that sound lovely?
Mm-hmm.
So you were, of higher ranking.
The longer your torso was?
Yeah, I guess. And you were also, you were a disciplined woman.
Well, it would take discipline to get up and get into that every morning. So
Oh, indeed,
I
right?
can hardly get out of sweatpants.
Oh my goodness, yes. I actually heard an actress last night talking about wearing corsets for like for movie roles.
Right.
And I'm trying to think. I think it was Jennifer Lawrence talking
Mm.
about it, and it was the description given. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I never thought about what the actresses who do the period pieces, like what that must be like." It's never really crossed my mind. I have to say, like, they're wearing authentic to the time period costumes.
Yeah.
And
Yikes.
let me just say, she was not too happy about this. She was like, "Don't do it. You don't want to do it." She was surrounded by all men on this talk show. So, yeah. So then we go to the 18th and 19th centuries, and the corsets, they become increasingly elaborate, sometimes shaping the waist, but primarily supporting and shaping the bust. But then in the 19th century, the empire style dresses come out. And so now that's reducing the emphasis on the waist. Do you know what the empire style dresses are? Do you like?
No, not like.
So there are
I have
those
an idea,
dresses,
but-
you see them in a lot of those Jane Austen movies. I'm trying to think if they're in some of the Bridgerton. They are in some of the Bridgerton ones, I think. Like some of the girls wear them. So it's just the top part, like, is
yes,
around
yes. Yeah. I know what you
the
mean now.
breasts, and then the skirt kind of is flowing from there instead of that fit
Yes.
Victorian
Right.
sort of look, right? So at that point, the corsets kind of, for some, move to the back.
Right.
And now they have a new thing out, and it's not so much emphasizing the waist so much. I'm trying to look at what that's called, but I'm losing. I've lost it in my notes here. So, but we get the picture. But then the Edwardians come along in the 19th century, and they produced something called the S-bend, or health corset, which reduced the pressure on the stomach but shifted the strain to the back, aiming for a curved silhouette. Around 1908, the bra began to replace the corset. Woo! Thank God.
Yeah, I'm like, with that last one, I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if we have generational back pain. Like, is that a thing? We talk about all this generational healing. I'm mostly making a joke.
Well, have you seen the pictures of what the corsets would do to the women?
No, I don't think so.
Well, first of all, some women, they used to have ribs removed, they say, to accommodate that hourglass figure.
Yeah.
But from what I've read, the women, their organs would shift. And I mean, I can't even imagine if you had been pregnant and then, in the early days before you realize you're pregnant, and then how that played out. I actually didn't research that part of it. So that's an interesting thing to look into.
I just finished watching Bridgerton, and in the last season, and in one of the episodes, I am just going to say that one of them made a comment about how, because she was pregnant, about how once you're showing, you didn't go out into society. So,
well, yeah, no, you did. Well, you didn't. Yeah, no, that was a whole other. You did not.
Yeah.
Then the 1920s come along, and we have the flapper style, and this is when bras really start to, become there's no more corsets at this point, and so. But now the bras are designed to sort of smush the breasts, creating, and this is in the research, a boyish figure.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Given how crazy people are about boobs.
Right? Yeah. So, and then in the 1930s, companies start introducing the first cup sizes.
Oh, the old cup size. The ever elusive cup size.
Well, one of my favorite ones is the next one. When it's the 1940s and 50s, we're in World War II, and we saw innovations in nylon, and we decide that that's more affordable for bras, which my first bra was nylon. I'm pretty confident. All I know is it itched like a motherfucker. And I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And but they introduced this thing called the bullet bra.
Whoa, that sounds cool, actually.
And those are those bras, you see pictures of women from that time where like their boobs are like sticking straight out like these little missiles.
Yeah.
Right? And that, yeah,
bullet
I
bra.
can't imagine. And
wow.
But it very, very much popularized like by figures like Marilyn Monroe, right? And you definitely saw that with her. Then the 1960s and 70s come along, and fashion becomes more liberated for women, finally. And the focus shifts back to natural shapes. And, you know, women start opposing undergarments and further encouraging the decline of any like traditional corset of any kind. So some women were actually still wearing corsets right up into the 60s and 70s. And, you know, and it wasn't necessarily a fashion statement per se. It was like what they felt they had, you know, needed to wear for support. And yeah, so it's definitely, it is the bra has a long history of development. Yeah. And when I researched it, like I decided to look into, were women shamed for not wearing bras or corsets? And of course they were. Because we're kind of shamed for
everything.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like sitting here like, when did this, I mean, I know you just went over the history, but like, and I gave my opinion of what I thought the purpose was, but what was the purpose? Besides, like, okay, so for the corset, it was like to elongate the torso. Like it was like a statement, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap my head around how and who convinced people to wear bras and corsets. But I mean, I guess
what was
like
proper, keep it all
in
and tight and up straight and right.
True.
And
yeah.
but before the corsets became the standard, so this, you know, again, we're going back to the 16th century. Women's undergarments varied quite a bit, and they were like in ancient Greece, women sometimes had a type of supportive band called the strophion. I don't know. I can't pronounce it exactly. And the mastodoton.
See,
neither of those things make you want to wear them.
If you can't say it, you shouldn't wear it.
Probably
like, that's
not.
Where I'm at. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't mean you. I mean in general. It's like, if it's that difficult to say,
yeah,
it shouldn't be worn.
So like this is ancient Greece and Rome, right? And it's just basically like they're describing it as just like a fabric band wrapped around the chest, providing modesty and some support. And yeah, and then in the medieval period, undergarments were typically simple, and it was just like a chemise, like a little, you know, a slip sort of a thing.
That sounds nice.
Like a loose tank top. Yeah. And then the late Middle Ages, they start to come back again with the support stuff. Coats and kirtles, they're called.
Okay.
Wow. They sound terrible. The words sound terrible. They were tailored more closely to the body to provide mild support, similar to a corset, but without the boning.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's no metal or whalebone in there. And these garments, it says they were still not very restrictive, and they were made of more flexible fabrics. So it like, why did this become a thing? I mean, I don't know, because this lady from France decided that it needed to be a thing. It's a terrible thing. What a terrible, terrible thing. Um, I think it's fine, if you want to wear a corset because it's a fashion statement and that's
Mhm.
something you it makes you feel good.
Mhm.
By all means, I think you should wear whatever makes you feel
Mhm.
good, but I don't think that it should be forced by a
Mhm.
societal standard.
No, for sure.
And of course, religious and moral things come
Mhm.
into play as well. And there were like a lot of religious people that were against corsets,
Mhm.
and then there were those that thought you had to wear them because that
Right.
was what decent women do.
Right.
So, but then some moralists were arguing that corsets harmed women's physical health and
Mhm.
moral well-being, and they described them as vanity devices that led women towards superficial concerns. So this has been a hot
Right.
topic.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
was not just something was like accepted,
Mhm.
right? So yeah, I'll go back to the beginning of our prompts here now that we've covered some of the history. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
My goodness. So, um, looking. Um, when did you first hear about the bra burning movement, and what were your
Oh
thoughts?
god, I have no idea when I heard about it. And
No?
cuz I feel like I probably didn't hear that much about it
No.
given my upbringing.
Okay.
I don't even know when it happened.
In the 60s,
Okay. There we go.
70s. Yeah. Yeah. So in the 60s, 70s, there's this movement of burning the bras, like,
Sounds like fun though.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's all we need to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I'm like burn those bras.
Yeah. So, um, and I think that women really were just, it's like, why would you want to wear restrictive clothing?
Mhm.
Unless you want to, like,
Mhm.
but it shouldn't be a requirement
Mhm.
standard.
Mhm. Yeah.
And, to go out in public, to get a job, to like,
Yeah, you shouldn't be like looked down on or like judged if you don't want to wear a bra. Like,
absolutely. But it was something that was in many school dress
mhm.
codes. You girls, like, you had to wear
Mhm.
proper undergarments,
Mhm.
proper in quotes
Mhm.
undergarments, which meant you better be wearing a bra.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was definitely, and pushed. And I remember going to get my first bra, and
Mhm.
it was very much a thing of, this is what you do.
Yeah.
Now you're growing up, you're developing,
Mhm.
and this is what you have to do. It wasn't
Mhm.
like, do you want to wear a
Mhm.
bra? What do you think about wearing it? It was like, oh no, this is what we're doing now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they were called training bras.
Yes. What are you training for? Like that's what I would like to know.
For the torture.
Yeah, I guess. Um yeah, for the torture. Yeah. Let's just prepare you with this gentle elastic so then you can prepare for the wires that come next.
Mm. Mine was not elastic,
I
like gentle
yeah.
elastic. It did not feel that way. It was like, I don't know what yours looked like, but like, it was a thing. Like, there was an
Mhm.
actual training bra that
Mhm.
was sold,
Oh yeah.
and they were, I vaguely remember, sort of, the white cotton maybe, but maybe they were a little bit silky on the outside. And the inside had this sort of almost like a padding in it.
Mhm.
And there was no liner. It was just this like itchy padding. Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a little bit of lace, and there
Mhm.
was a little tiny little pink rosebud
Mhm.
in the middle
Mhm.
between the breasts
Mhm.
that barely existed yet.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah. And there was all this about adjusting the straps,
Mhm.
and this
Mhm.
whole nonsense. And yeah, then, and once this bra was purchased, it was,
You were in training.
you were in training, and had to wear it every day. I remember actually
Mhm.
getting reprimanded for not
Mhm.
wearing it sometimes. And God, I hated that bra. What was your story?
Oh my god. I feel like I'm like sitting here thinking and I'm like I remember my mom basically like my mom always made things like just weird and awkward. Um, and so I remember her like coming up to me and being like, "We have to get you like we're heading to Charlottetown," which was like a big
That's a
deal.
big
So like
deal.
I went to the big city to get my first training bra. And just for the record, this was like a 45-minute drive to, if that, to go to the, in quotes, big city. And yeah, I remember her being like, "Okay, we're going to Charlottetown. We have to get you some training bras today. It's time." And it was just this like weird thing. And I remember it was, and like when you said like, you know, a training bra, and like you didn't even really have boobs. I'm like thinking back and I'm like, I don't even really remember having boobs. Like what was happening at that point?
Much of
like
anything, for
But I
sure.
remember it being very just like weird, and I remember like reflecting back, I remember it kind of being this thing where it's like, oh well, like you're developing now, it's shamed, basically. It's time to cover up because people are noticing.
Strap them
Strap
down.
them down, lock it in.
Yeah.
It's nothing but a white knuckle ride from here on out. Like, you're a woman now. Good luck out there.
Yeah.
Like that's what that was. And yeah, so I remember, yeah, we went to Charlottetown, and I think we went to like a Walmart or something. I don't even know. And found, yeah, those little like white cottony. I don't even really remember what the first time. I know it was white and boring and not fun, and pointless. Like I was just like, I don't understand why I'm wearing these two little triangles over under my shirt. Like this is stupid. And then I remember like I was just embarrassed about the whole situation because it was a family affair. It wasn't just like, oh, me and my mom are gonna go buy bras. No, everyone was there. And it was not like everyone was like in the bra section with us, like looking, but like my brother and my dad. And so it was like this thing that was like just weird, awkward. Yay, teenager years growing up. So fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm guessing yours was not quite as uncomfortable as mine was.
I don't really remember. I mean, I remember.
I don't think they were putting the itchy.
I don't remember it being itchy, but like I remember it was like you know, you had your hooks and your clasp, and it was just stupid, and it was tight, and it was uncomfortable, and yeah.
And I remember taking my sister to get bras, and she was a little, just a year or two older than you are. And I'm trying to remember with my own daughters if it was like a big thing, and I can't remember, unfortunately. But I definitely know that with my sister, for sure, I was still in that mindset that this is what we have to do. This is what part of the being a woman.
I feel like the two main things for like becoming a woman is like you get your period and you get a bra. Like it's like those are like these two moments in your whatever age where it's like you're becoming a woman now. And it's like, oh, okay. I thought I already was one. But okay. Like whatever.
Oh yeah. And no, well, so you weren't excited at all?
No, I was not excited. Granted, I was also a little bit of like, I was a kid. I don't remember how old I was, but like, I was a bit of a like tomboy, they would say, which I mean, I think is just being a kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, this was like the farthest thing from my mind. I had no idea that was something I was going to have to do.
I was 10.
I don't remember how
I remember that.
I know I was little.
I was 10. And yeah, it was like I just got hit all at once. Early development. Yeah. Got my moon time. Had to start shaving my legs. And the bra was just like boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Not good. And I was the first girl with a bra, which I mean makes sense being that I was, only 10. And that was a problem.
Yeah.
In school. That was it, because you kind of knew. Like you could see the strap a little bit, you know, under the shirt or whatever. They knew. And yeah, and almost immediately the boys started snapping my bra. And that did not go over well with my personality. That did not go well for the boys that attempted it.
Jeez.
Nope. Nope. And that created a whole new reputation for me.
Mhm.
I was now the bitch.
Ah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and it's all because of stupid bra
Right.
that I hated.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so did you feel awkward, like, about the wearing them at
I
first?
mean, yeah.
I did.
Yeah, totally. I totally felt awkward. Well, like I said, everything everything in my childhood was pretty much made to feel awkward and shamed and
Yeah.
weird. And yeah, no, I definitely felt awkward. Especially like, going outside to play with like the neighborhood kids the first year,
Yeah.
like, oh God, is anyone gonna notice?
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when someone like did mention it, you're just like, oh, like shut up, don't talk about it. Because
Mhm.
yeah, and it's just weird. Yeah, definitely.
And, like, the realities of wearing bras, like, they can be a pain in the
Mhm.
ass. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
have you had any particular incidents that you recall, like, where, like, it was just a bra gone wrong? I mean, obviously, I just shared my one
I
that just
mean,
happened.
okay, so like obviously in like my 20s and stuff, I would wear the like underwire
Mhm.
bras and
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of thing and all those different ones. And I like, I don't know. I never had a comfortable bra. But my favorite thing was when the underwire would break and like come out and like just start
And
stabbing
jab.
you in the
Mhm.
boob.
Mhm.
That's always a good time.
In the boob, in the
Yeah. In the
ribs.
ribs.
Did
Yeah.
you ever get actually cut?
I
I
don't know if I ever
I
actually
did
got cut.
once. I did once,
No.
and oh my god, like, it was terrible because I could feel it, and, like,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know that
Mhm.
feeling, and
Mhm.
you're like, "Oh my
Yeah, I'm being
gosh,
stabbed.
I
It's a
think the
feeling.
wire I think it's my bra wire.
Mhm.
It's come through,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Even it's
It's
trying to
poking my
escape.
skin, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's really bothering me," and it was just one of those days where I'm pretty sure I was at work,
Mhm.
and keep I couldn't check for a
Mhm.
long period of time, and when I finally did check, I mean, I was bloody.
Oh Jesus. My God.
Yeah, and I was like, "What? Oh my gosh, you gotta be joking me here. This is terrible." It wasn't too long after that that I started looking for bras that didn't have wires
Mm.
because it was
Mhm.
horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's all the different fasteners.
Mhm.
What a pain in the ass, right?
My
Like, I
God.
mean,
I can't
and
even count the amount of times where it's like, you're in a hurry, you're trying to get out the door, you're trying to get dressed, and you're like, you just can't get your fucking bra hooked. And you're like, Jesus Christ, what is going on here? Like,
well,
this is
exactly.
insane.
And sometimes they have one hook you're supposed to do,
3?
which sometimes it's 3,
Yeah.
sometimes it's even 4. It just depends
Yeah,
on the
true.
design of the bra. You're right. Yeah. No, and it's terrible.
Mhm.
And then there's sports bras, so, like, because
Mhm.
you think, well, that's gonna be the happy medium.
Mhm.
You'll wear that, but then sometimes then you're being, like, flattened.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sports
Or what
sports bras
what
are
people
great for
call a uniboob.
yes, and
Yeah.
I think sports bras are great for running
Oh, for sure.
and for sports,
Mhm.
but they
Especially
aren't the
especially,
best
let's
for
be
every
honest,
day.
everyone has different sized boobs. So like I totally, hey man, you're out doing things and you don't, yeah.
100%, yeah.
There's a whole other level of uncomfortability having your boobs like all over the place, right?
Truly,
Yeah.
truly, yeah, and we'll
I'm blessed with a that doesn't happen to me.
well,
And I say blessed.
unfortunately, yeah, no, it does tend to happen to me, but I am very blessed that I did not end up, like, inheriting what some of the other women in my family have
Mhm.
had to deal with, and so I'm very grateful for that because
It's funny how like your how these things kind of change as you get older because I remember being younger and you're made fun of for having little boobs. And it's
Mhm.
like this thing where everybody wants big boobs and then you get older and you're like, "No. This is actually a blessing and I'm quite happy with this."
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, because you brought up we all have different,
Mhm.
shapes and sizes. I did look into the health
Mm.
side
Mhm.
of things. So, I'm just looking to I'm scrolling through all my notes because there's so many. I'm like a research lunatic, and that should be said. So, yeah. And then see,
Just join us for
I
a
have
short
so
break
many.
here.
Yeah, for this short break. Well,
Short intermission.
July sorts through all of her ridiculous notes
On the
on
plus
the
side,
subject.
at least we know that if we really want to, we can, edit this out or leave it in.
That's true. That's true. So, health research. Well, we're back in the health research. We obviously know that the organs, there was organ compression and restriction issues with the corsets. I think most women must know that herstory, right? I hope, because I mean, when you think about the challenges that we have faced as being women, if you don't know the baseline stuff like that, it's really a disservice to having the compassion, because it wasn't just being affected, having your voices silenced and not being able to own property and all those things. You're also dealing with all of this bullshit of like what's expected of you and these standards, some of which were absolutely ridiculous, like wearing a corset and having, like here it's like causing significant health problems, including compressed organs like the stomach, liver, and intestines, which could lead to digestive and respiratory issues. The compression also restricted lung capacity, causing shortness of breath and even fainting spells. Like that's the reality of what they were in, what they were expected to be in, and how tight those corsets were being pulled. And then there were musculoskeletal, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but there were impacts there too. Regular corset wear led to muscle weakening, particularly in the core and back.
Well, that makes sense.
And the corset itself, like as the corset was supporting the torso, then the body's not having to do what it naturally does to build, right? And so this was it was a serious
so in some
issue.
of those cases, you would almost end up having to continue wearing it.
Absolutely. And then it's altering the rib cage, and it actually says it's like forming a reliance on the corset for support. So, and then it's causing reproductive health concerns. I guess during the Victorian era, doctors raised concern that corsets might affect reproductive health by applying pressure on the abdomen. Though there isn't actual scientific evidence to prove that, but I mean, it clearly was written. So, but as we move forward, the current recommendations on bra use for health, individual comfort, and modern health advice often emphasizes personal comfort and support needs. Women with larger breasts or those experiencing pain may find that wearing a well-fitted bra reduces discomfort. However, there's no medical consensus that bras are necessary for breast health. Women who prefer to go braless for comfort or ideological reasons generally won't face negative health consequences. So
it's not a health concern.
It's not a health concern.
Yeah.
And then so concerns about sagging. Bras are sometimes marketed as preventative for breast sagging, but research suggests that factors like genetics, age, and weight fluctuation plays a larger role than wearing a bra. So that's like that. It's important to know this because I definitely was, as a young woman, given the impression that if I did not wear a bra, something atrocious would come of it. I actually remember a woman once telling me, like, you have to wear a bra or your boobs will be down to your knees. And it's like,
and yet I remember reading something like years ago, and I might butcher this a little bit, but like I remember reading basically the opposite, that like by wearing all the like push-up bras and the underwire, like you have muscles that aren't developing,
I've read that too.
you're actually like your boobs will actually be less saggy by not wearing all the underwire and all of that.
Absolutely.
And also, what is the, like, this brings us to a whole different thing of, like, we age.
Mm-hmm.
Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that something that's, like, people don't want to look at? You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh my God. Like, I mean, I grew up in a household that very much could have been like, oh my God, like, put a bra on. Like that was the vibe, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like,
No.
brings us to a whole other thing.
It's... No. Well, I mean, there's just so many expectations put on us in general about how we should present ourselves. And I mean, I think you should present yourself how you feel comfortable.
100%.
I think that as long as you're not hurting anybody,
Yeah.
what's the problem? And I know that I myself, as much as I want to go braless, I often am not, because I basically, somewhere in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't want to make others uncomfortable. That's really what comes up more often than not.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think I had this conversation with you not too long ago where I said I was training myself to not wear a bra.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, it's so ingrained that it's proper, or, like, I don't know. I haven't fully explored kind of in my own mind what's going on there, but it is very much a, like, comfortability thing for my own self, where, yeah, I just feel, like, awkward if I'm not. Like, especially if I'm, like, going out in public or something.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, you're just, like, so, I think, programmed to be like, you have to wear, you have to cover up.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't have, yeah.
No, and I've been on a journey with this whole braless thing for a while now, because there was a period of time where I was buying specific tops that had, like, some ruffling over the chest area, so that it was less noticeable that I wasn't wearing a bra. I felt, I don't know if it really was or not. I have no clue, but
Yeah.
but it was all in an effort to, one, not make others uncomfortable or offend someone or something, but also, which is just kind of ridiculous because I don't know what other people are thinking.
Yeah.
However, there is the other side of it, which I don't know if it's psychological, it's all in my head, but when you're not wearing a bra, it sometimes seems like you can get attention you don't want from the male species.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they kind of can't really handle this
Well,
sort of without,
feel like
like,
that's a whole other,
gawking,
yeah.
right? But they're gonna gawk
Either way, so you might as well be comfortable.
Well, that's just
You might
it.
as well personally be comfortable when you're being made to feel uncomfortable.
And I don't like whatever it is that's going on in their minds with this
Boobs.
situation. Well, yeah,
I think
like,
that's
whether they
boobs.
think this is good or bad or gross or whatever, like, who cares? It's how you feel comfortable.
Well, exactly.
And, like, they're god awful things.
I will say, I'm actually I was, like, just thinking, and I'm kind of proud of myself, because I know in the last few weeks/months, there actually have been a few times when I've left the house without wearing a bra, and I totally forgot I wasn't wearing one.
Oh, I do it
Till
all
I
the
got out in public, and then I was like, oh, I'm not wearing a bra. Oh, well.
I do it all the time, but
Yeah.
I've been working at it
Me
for
too.
years.
Well, I haven't been working on it for years. I had like, I guess kind of, actually, because I switched to, like, only wearing comfortable sports bras that don't give you the uniboob. I started wearing those, like, quite a few years ago, strictly, and, like, the bralettes, because I think those are actually pretty cute. They don't have any wire. They're just they're almost like a training bra, actually, except they have lace. And that's so much cuter.
Well, the nice training bra that you got, not the bra I got.
Hey, the nice training bra I got didn't have lace. It was just white. But yeah, I switched to, like, wearing that, like, years ago. And then, as you know, I bought a couple of, like, I don't even know what those tops are called. The tops I bought over the summer. And I started wearing those as basically my bra. I don't know what they're called.
They're like a crop tank top.
Crop tank top.
I don't know if they have a...
Basically the size of a bra, though.
Yeah.
So I've just started wearing those.
Yeah.
As, like, my bra.
I often wear the tank tops that have the built-in. I'll do that. or I guess kind of like a bralette, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're more sporty, I guess, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't do the single. Yeah.
Right.
But even still, like with this uniboob thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is, honestly, you're the first person I've ever heard say that.
Really?
I guess I'm just tuned out on that particular note. But like, who cares if
Right.
somebody like
Yeah.
because some people that's just not an option. They need
Mm-hmm.
this. They
Mm-hmm.
feel they need the support to go walking, to
100%.
run, to function, to do whatever it is they do. And if they're comfortable in that and they
Mm-hmm.
have a uniboob, who
Yeah.
cares? Like,
Well, that's the thing. It's like, it's your body and how
mhm.
you look. If you're comfortable and you're happy, it is no one else's goddamn business.
Well, this is the thing is if you are concerning yourself with how somebody else
Mm-hmm.
how they're deciding to
Mm-hmm.
present
Mm-hmm.
themselves or how they're deciding to support their breasts.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry,
It's
but
none of your business.
it's freaking inappropriate.
Yeah.
It is so wildly
Mm-hmm.
inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And I have definitely in my life heard women criticize other women
Oh my God,
about their
yes.
bra choices, about their bra showing, about wearing see-through tops, about
Mm-hmm.
their bra being too big, being too small, being the wrong color. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Why don't you focus on your own self
Yeah.
and leave everybody else alone?
Yeah.
Because bras are really like it is such a it's a big decision to make whether
Mm-hmm.
you're going to do this or not because you have to deal with a lot of nonsense. I mean, you have
Mm-hmm.
straps slipping, they're expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're digging into your shoulders
Mm-hmm.
sometimes if they're not well fitted. Um, to go and be fit for one, and I mean, they're really
Yeah.
they're pricey,
Oh yeah.
really
100%.
pricey, and um, if you're going to get a quote unquote good one,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Go get properly measured, and
Yeah.
why don't we just add more bullshit to our days?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, come on. Or here's an idea. What if we, said, why bother?
Mm-hmm.
And did what men have the privilege to do and just throw on a shirt?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
nice? For me personally.
Yeah.
But if you want to wear a bra,
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And I'm sure you're going to look fabulous.
Yeah.
We shouldn't judge people by what undergarment.
No, there's so many other things we could judge them for. I'm kidding.
Now.
I'm just kidding. Oh my
I
God.
know you are.
Couldn't
Oh,
help it.
but it's just so foolish.
Yeah.
And it is such
Oh,
a personal
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many things about being a woman where we do get judged or we
Mm-hmm.
judge our fellow
Mm-hmm.
sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have to stop.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we don't even question why we're judging. Like, quite often.
No,
and I think that's where we kind of we learn to stop. It's like you notice these things and it's like, oh, why?
because
Why
it's
am I judging
been
this person?
conditioned
It's been
in.
conditioned
It's
100%.
what we heard our mothers
Mhm.
do, our grandmothers do, our aunts. It's what we see other friends do.
Yep.
It's what we see on television and
Yep.
movies. It is literally programmed into
Mhm.
us to notice and judge.
Yep.
And it's got to stop.
Yeah.
And if it can't stop on some totally trivial thing like whether someone's wearing a bra or
Mhm.
not,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, do we ever have a long way to go? Which we do.
Yeah.
We have a very long way to go
Yeah.
on it. So, um, yeah. No more
I
judging.
really hope people give us their opinion on this.
I do too.
Like, I would really like to hear what like other women think, where they're at in their bra journey.
Yeah. So, well, let's in wrapping it up, if you could give one piece of advice to someone unsure about their bra choices, what would it be?
Do whatever makes you comfortable. Literally, physically comfortable, and what, internally comfortable? I don't know.
100%. And I would say if any if your choice is based on what other people's opinions might be,
Mhm.
their opinion is none of your business.
Well, yeah, and like, how often are we
So-
actually going to even know what someone else's opinion
Yeah,
is?
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
it's very important to make these choices on the basis of your own personal comfort, your needs for your body,
Mm-hmm.
and your self-expression
Yeah.
as well.
Well, I think that's been a big part of my journey too, is just like really questioning, because like I was raised very religious,
Mhm.
and so there was so much shame and like body shame and like surrounding that,
Mhm.
that I think that's been kind of like a big part of my journey too, is just like what is my actual true self-expression.
Which is really challenging for many to find
Yeah.
in this society
Yeah.
that we live in. What is your true self-expression?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a complex thing to unpack.
100%.
This is just the tip of the iceberg with the
Yeah.
bras.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. This is
truly.
kind of more of a like honestly, I'm going to say like a funnier one, if
Yeah.
we can be honest.
Well, it is, and it's the yeah, it's just
less serious and yet still
yeah.
important.
No. Um so just remember, out there, all anyone who's listening, the choice to wear or not to wear a bra is entirely yours. It is ultimately about body autonomy and reclaiming comfort on one's own terms. Um, and we would love to hear from you on this particular topic and to hear about your journeys with the to bra or not to bra or your first bra and just what you think about it. And you know, and if you've ever worn a corset, if you ever tried that out, that would
Mhm.
be cool to get some feedback on that. I actually have worn one
Yeah.
once, and yeah, once.
Just for the
Once.
record, her face just got like hella serious right now.
Yeah, once.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep saying
Yeah.
that.
I'm not recording video yet, but if you saw the video right now, you'd get it.
Um, so we thank you for joining us today on Unraveling with July and Jamie, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And until then, be kind.